Hey team, so today I have a pretty cool lesson that I wanted to share with you. It comes courtesy of Yvette Massetti at Rancho Mirage High School. She had this really cool lesson. She did a BreakOut EDU, and if you've never been or have been familiar with a BreakOut EDU, it's essentially like an escape room where you're in this room and the whole idea is to get out using clues and hints that they provide in this space. So in BreakOut EDU, you get these clues and hints, but you break into the box. And so you get this box, you put locks on it, and you essentially design your lesson around those concepts so the students figure out the codes and then unlock each lock and then get into the box. So really cool. Love to see it, and I had some really good footage that I'll be sharing with you here shortly. So let's begin with the prep work, because that's one of the big parts here. I want to be clear. This Yvette put a ton of time. She dedicated a good amount to make this happen, and she did wonderfully. And obviously I don't recommend that everyone does this all the time, but it was really cool to see, and I would love to see more of it in our district. And so I kind of want to share a little bit of kind of how this worked. So let's get to what she did to prep. And so here's her folder that she shared with me. And again, thanks to Yvette for providing this for me, and had a ton of different cool things to share. So a couple of the photos of the in-class setup. Here are the locks and what it looks like. Once you kind of set up the codes, you need to figure out essentially what and how do you make the codes for each individual box unique, and what are the clues that kind of set that up. And the instructions for the students for these purposes, they got a whiteboard and 2 Chromebooks per table, and obviously their whole aim was to work together to break into the box, and so all the clues were related to that. So let's take a look at one of the clues. So you get something like this, where to unlock the word lock, right, we need to look at the fossils on the next slide and then look at the animals. So there were articles that were paired with these locks, okay, and so some of the articles you'll see here, these allowed students to essentially read the content, look at the content, and then from there figure out what fossil, after you get to this point, you get to the next level, you get to the fossil, you get to the code, and then the code gets here, and now you know what kind of things you can put into the lock. And so there was this, again, really cool aura in the room of students having these wonderful conversations, looking at content. And that's what I loved about this too. So you're talking content. It's not like a contrived example. Yvette did a wonderful job of really tying it in and getting students interested in the topic. They were hyper engaged, which was really neat to see. And then essentially the code is what they used from these articles to then put into one of the locks. This was a high level example, but it doesn't always have to be this way, where you're using just the idea of giving students a different look, right? These kids were working to solve the mystery of the box, right, and to break into it, and they did. And you can tell by the conversations that they were having that they're really kind of enjoying the learning, but didn't necessarily know that that's what they were doing. Obviously, they were reading articles and looking at content within science here, but they really did genuinely feel like they were enjoying themselves. So again, you don't have to get to this level where you're putting in this much time to make it work. You get the 4 locks, 9 boxes, but it's a cool idea. And if you're interested in trying one of these things, let me know. Or if you have another lesson, a lesson that you're proud of and would love to share, I'd love to see more of these kind of lessons, more of these different mediums for instruction. And if there's something else that you'd like to add to this conversation, let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.